Story 1. Find a house for around £1,000 per calendar month. Pay rent upfront for the next 83 years, equal to 1,000 months. A roof over my head, and technically I own nothing. Story 2. Buy a large number of games on Steam. Technically, I do not own any of them. I just have a license for them. Story 3. 55 burgers, 55 fries, 55 tacos, 55 pies, 55 colas, 100 tater tots, 100 pizzas, 100 chicken tenders, 100 meatballs, 100 coffees, 55 chicken wings, 55 milkshakes, 55 pancakes, 55 pasta dishes, 55 peppers, and 155 potatoes. Story 4. Tough one. Assuming I cannot just enrich my friends and family. Maybe an expensive day in Monaco with friends and some family. The most expensive yacht charter with all the super expensive foods and drinks money can buy. A short fishing trip? Maybe a helicopter ride? Explore a little by renting a supercar and then probably lose most of it at the casino. Then donate the leftovers. Story 5. Easy. Go to Las Vegas and play the million the same way I play $100. The result is the same. It is all gone before I know it, and I have nothing to show for it. Story 6. Dine out 3 to 4 times and tip the entire staff $10,000 each. Find charities and give them a stack, but make sure you have witnesses. Inspired by my own life, I visit college campuses and look for non-traditional students who have children, then give them a stack. I attended the University of Missouri full-time after getting married and having 2 children. On many occasions, I prayed for a miracle to ease the burden. Story 7. Buy a townhouse on a lake or beach. Hire a title company to create a trust. The trust owns the property, but I control the trust. Story 8. Go downtown and bet 1,000 people $1,000 each that I can guess their birthday. Guess February 29th for each one. Or bet them that I can guess their weight and that I will be 20 to 50 pounds lighter. As a double bonus, give everybody money and good vibes. Story 9. It is sad to say, but you could spend that in about 10 minutes just by going through GoFundMe and finding people who are raising money for medical bills or procedures to save or improve their lives. Story 10. If you are asking us to pull a mini Brewster's Millions, what are the rules? What is to stop us from gambling it away or spending it on V-Bucks or Call of Duty coins? Story 11. 2 women at the same time. I think if I were a millionaire, I could arrange that too because women like men with money. Story 12. If we want to get technical, I could spend all my money on video games on Steam. According to major publishers, when I spend money on video games, I do not own them. I am buying the right to play them, and they believe they have the right to revoke my access to their game at any time. Please sign the petition. Story 13. Easy. Casino. Rent a room for the duration of the event. Trade $1 million for chips. Put chips in the room. Stay in the room and wait for the event to end, verifying that I do not own anything. Once completed, grab chips and trade them for $1 million. Win. Story 14. Go to the casino and bet like crazy on roulette black or red. It is easy to lose. If you bet on both black and red at the same time, you lose half your money each time until you lose it all. Story 15. Define waste. I would start buying vehicles for unhoused people, such as sport utility vehicles and vans. These would provide shelter from the cold but be inexpensive enough to avoid spending the entire budget too quickly. It is necessary to distribute the impact to as many people as possible. Story 16. Use it to fix the roads leading to my house. I get a nicer drive, and it is not on my property, so I do not own it. Story 17. This does not seem that challenging to me, working with my city, which does not even touch a fraction of what most infrastructure projects would cost. I would suggest setting up a trust, executed by a lawyer who must be paid, for a small scholarship for people who want to attend trade schools. Alternatively, there might be enough funds to renovate some small park equipment, although it would be very difficult to get the bid and acceptance within the required time period. Therefore, probably create a lawyer-owned trust and place all the funds there with instructions on how the money should be managed. This way, it could help children with the dividends for years. Story 18. Charter a private jet and fly to New York City to catch Denzel Washington in Othello. Bribe the usher to get good seats. Go out to dinner at La Nacional in Manhattan. Stay at a posh hotel. Get room service breakfast very early. Visit a museum and be home by supper time in Vermont. Story 19. I would rent a private island and hire many of my favorite bands to play live for me and my guests. I would get Michelin-rated chefs to cook our meals using the rarest and fanciest foods. I would have private jets or yachts to pick us up and drop us off. I would buy expensive champagne and have fog and bubble machines set up everywhere. I might rent some rides or attractions if there is enough money left. Story 20. Head to the county tax office and pay off as many people's overdue property taxes as possible so the state cannot seize their homes. Story 21. Take 4 friends on a 4-season tour with the single supplement. Grand Horizons 2026. I would need to contribute another $7,600. If I assume no tax, the total is $1,007,600. Story 22. So the only thing is that I cannot physically own anything or have $1 million in my bank account or physically in my possession. Easy. Transfer $1 million to my mother. Story 23. The old Brewster's millions watching pays off while Generation Z languishes in ruin. Ha 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 ha. Being old is the best. Story 24. What is the threshold for owning? Can I get plane tickets for a future date? Or would that be owning something even though after the flights I would not have anything tangible? Could I pay off my mortgage without that being owning something at the end because I already own it? Or the student loans my parents took out for my education, could I pay those off? What about things that I bought with my usual bank account? For example, can I spend $1 million on a trip to Asia and then buy souvenirs with my everyday account? And in the same vein, what is the threshold for wasting? I would definitely follow some of the ideas here, like following tips in the Wall Street subreddit, but is that considered a waste? Or owning, since you would own stocks? I might be missing something, but I need clearer instructions. Story 25. Is it a waste to donate it? I have had this idea for a long time about helping people who cannot afford to fix their houses. I came up with it when I found out about a Vietnam veteran who was clearly still suffering from his service. He died in his house because it literally fell on him. I do not know whether he was killed when it fell or whether he became trapped, could not get out, and died of starvation and exposure. There are a couple of other houses in my town that look like they are about to fall down too. The people who live there are mostly elderly, and they cannot afford to fix them. Story 26. Screen Brewster's Millions at the Kennedy Center. If there is enough, free beer for everyone. Vote none of the above. Story 27. Buy a really nice house for my friend and make sure I have a lifelong right to live there in the land register. For the rest of the money, probably toys for my dog and companionship. Story 28. I would eliminate all students' lunch debt, ensure every child has the proper school supplies, and make sure teachers are well stocked instead of having to use their own money. Story 29. Set up a limited liability company in my name. Apparently, it can be done online in less than 24 hours in my country. Invest the money into the company using one of those quick setup challenger banks as the corporate account. Then, conduct business activities and draw a wage from the business. Story 30. Put it in a trust for my dog with me as his sole caretaker, responsible for his care and needs. I know he needs property and a house to live in. Story 31. Put everything in a trust. You do not own it, the living trust does. Now I can buy whatever I want and use it. Story 32. You do not own anything afterward. Like, everything you bought disappears. I would just get rid of my debt and any of my friends' debts, and then any debts that I can cover after that. Story 33. I would pay my outrageous homeowners association fees and questionable condominium assessments in real time, with the balance held in escrow. I cannot think of anything more wasteful. Story 34. Lotto tickets. I cannot own the tickets, but I can own the cash I make from them. I am willing to bet that if you spent $1 million on lotto tickets, you are going to make a decent return. Story 35. If I had to waste it by being careless with it, a vacation? Considering how poor I am, I think I could make a case for that being wasteful. Story 36. Payday for family and some relatives. I make sure to show them proof that I kept none of it. Enjoy the cash and please do not bother me afterwards. Story 37. Hire an extremely expensive consulting firm to find a way to waste $1 million. If you look around, you can find a firm that charges $1 million in fees just for the consultation. Story 38. Taking all my friends to a shooting range that rents fully automatic weapons. Confident we could spend $1 million in an hour. Story 39. 1. Gamble $500,000 at a high-stakes casino. Charter private jets for $200,000. Hire a celebrity or disc jockey for a $150,000 private show. Eat and drink at luxury restaurants for $100,000. Rent exotic cars and stay in luxury hotels for $50,000. At the end, I will have no assets, just memories and maybe a hangover. Story 40. Go to the bank and buy $1 million in gold bullion. It takes some time for the transaction to go through, so I would not own anything immediately. I would own it days later when the bullion is delivered. Story 41. I bought a nice house and put it in my son's name. This way, I do not own it, but I can still live there. Once he is 18, I will give him the house to live in. Story 42. Buy whatever I can think of and donate the rest. I have no idea how to waste money except by buying alcohol, so I would just go shopping and donate items to prevent them from just disappearing. Story 43. Do I not own anything? Does that mean I cannot spend money on things I want, like a new television or house? If so, then I am just going to use the money to pay off my mother's car loan, get an MRI, cancer testing, other blood tests, and x-rays of bones because there is a lot wrong with me. After all that, I will go get something to eat. Story 44. Pay for premium Disney vacations for 200 random families. 7 days at a deluxe resort, park hopper passes, and whatever they are calling fast passes these days. Plus food, of course. Story 45. I would hire a camera crew to follow me around as I give money to the needy. The money will be gone by the end of the day, but people will not know that I had to get rid of it anyway. It is similar to how charity tax breaks already work for the ultra-rich. Story 46. All in into decentralized non-fungible token. Oh wait, that would make me richer. Then all in into Harry Potter Sonic Obama Inu. Story 47. Just donate it to my local senator. They would not even care about a messy $1 million donation. Story 48. I donate it to the local hospital with the condition that they name a ward or something after me. Or start multiple scholarships all named after me. Story 49. A few hours of sex workers, alcohol, and cocaine, followed by the rest of the time gambling, alcohol, and cocaine. Story 50. Pay off the remainder of the mortgage on my parents' house so they can rent it out and have some income. This will allow them to retire from work. Then buy them their dream house with the remaining funds. Story 51. Buy stock. If owned in a brokerage, they are not in your name legally. You are the beneficial owner instead. Story 52. Pay off debt. Buy airplane tickets and accommodation packages for a year-long travel spree. Gamble? None of that ends with me owning additional items. Story 53. I buy transferable machine guns from out-of-state sellers. For each one, there are at least 2 sets of paperwork for transfers that each must be approved by the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives. The first has to be completed before the next can begin. I would not legally own them until the last transfer and background check is approved, and I take possession of the item. Story 54. Send a group of loved ones on an all-expenses prepaid trip and give them the rest in prepaid Visa cards. You own nothing, and they will love the experience. Story 55. Give a trusted person $1 million and ask them not to spend more than $100 of it. After 24 hours, I still do not technically own the money. Now, get the money back from that person. Story 56. Spend the first few hours flying to New York City or Chicago, or anywhere that would have the highest density of Michelin star restaurants possible. Eat at as many as possible in that time. See whatever concert is happening that night in that city. Every other penny will be donated to the various charities I have supported before, as well as to underprivileged school music programs. Story 57. Rent a jumbo jet and fly around in circles. Paramount Business Jets rents a Boeing 747 for $31,000 an hour. That will cost approximately $750,000 in 24 hours. The rest? Maybe rent a Hummer and parachute it off the jumbo jet. Story 58. I do not like the word waste, but I could easily find things to spend money on and not own anything afterward. Story 59. Throw a big party for anyone who wants to come. Call every party rental company and rent all the equipment. Buy food, alcohol, and supplies for everyone. Buy plane tickets for anyone out of state. Get a couple of DJs and celebrities. Basically, I would throw the world's biggest house party. Story 60. Can I just donate it? I mean, obviously, if there are loopholes like donating it to my wife or child, but if I cannot benefit from it at all and own nothing tomorrow, I will find a noble charity or group of charities. I will probably take all my friends and people out to a nice dinner as well. Story 61. Based on Brewster's Millions, Richard Pryor version. Go to a high-end stamp collection store. Buy rare and expensive stamps. Use them to send ordinary letters to people. Story 62. How much would renting the Sphere to play Mario Kart World for a few hours cost? Also, hire 23 Formula 1 racers to play with me and have Nintendo find a way to have all 24 racers on split screens in the Sphere. Story 63. Buy $1 million of rare, uncancelled stamps at your local collector store and mail letters to your mother because you have not called her recently. Story 64. Fly first class to New York, stay at an extravagant hotel suite, and eat extremely expensive food. Then go to the nearest store such as Walmart, Bodega, or Target and pay for everyone's orders. Story 65. I will divorce my wife and buy her a waterfront house. We will live together and get remarried when no one is looking. Story 66. It is not exactly wasting. Book the most incredible holiday and pay someone a lot of money to come and look after my house and cats while I go. Story 67. I would pull a reverse Bonnie Blue, but no woman is sane enough to do it for free. So, I would pay the first 1,000 women £1,000 for the sloppiest top they ever had. Story 68. I buy the most expensive item I can in one day and gift it to someone. They will gift it back to me after 24 hours, and I will give them some cash for helping me. Story 69. Buy every video game I can ever hope for. Apparently, I will not be owning anything and will only get access to a digital license. Story 70. Would it be easy to spend $1 million in 24 hours? Yes. Would it be easy to not have anything to show for that $1 million spent? Also yes. Would it be easy to not own anything? Not even the clothes on your back, your house, your computer, your retirement account, your car, or your collectible cards. After 24 hours? Absolutely not. So maybe call a lawyer, divorce your significant other, or just find a relative or a friend and sign over everything you own to them and get it notarized. Even then, if you have a house or a retirement account, it would be impossible to transfer them within 24 hours, as most transfers require days or weeks to process. Basically, you better not own anything to begin with when you get that $1 million, or you will never get rid of it in 24 hours. Story 71. Bet it all on black. If I win, pocket the winnings. Play again until I lose. There, I wasted $1 million. Perhaps I am lucky to have a few $1,000,000 for myself afterward. Can you own money? I don't think so. I believe the Federal Reserve has sole rights to owning it. Story 72. Use the money to pay off debts for myself and my extended family. Then put the remaining amount into my wife's savings account, which I am not authorized to access. Story 73. I distribute to nonprofit organizations and foundations. I would have a field day choosing the organizations to give to. Story 74. Bring me all the prostitutes and cocaine you have. Wait, I think you may have heard. Bring me a lot of prostitutes and cocaine. I said, bring me all the prostitutes and cocaine you have. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.